Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cop Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic day, wherever you are around the world. Apologies, I am late. As per usual, you should already know this by now. I am a very late person. Anyway, but hello. Hopefully, everyone's having a fantastic day. Anyway, of course, it has been a while. There's not been much Liverpool news, has it? Realistically, over the last couple of weeks, Liverpool are currently on holiday. Quote holiday. But of course, we do have a little bit of news. But again, it is the same old repeat news anyway. But tomorrow, guys, I want to quickly say this now, of course, before we do. Well, I do forget anyway. Of course, tomorrow we're going to be doing a little bit of a different video. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking probably about the Liverpool squads, having a look in the squad in itself on who should maybe go this summer, who could go, who could go where, in that aspect of things as well. Of course, we're going to just have a look at the squad, of course, unless there is anything that does come out in the news. So that's going to be tomorrow's episode for you guys anyway. And of course, we're going to try and get back to daily uploads now. It has been stop start a little bit over the last couple of days and weeks because again there's been nothing realistically to talk about. Of course we had Alexis McAllister news, a little bit of Thuram and Kone news, and then we've had nothing since. So again, hopefully things will get back to normality anyway over the next couple of days and weeks anyway. But of course, how are we, guys? Of course, in tonight's episode, we've got news on Fabio Carvalho as well. Looks like his loan move to RB Leipzig is now done and complete. We're going to be speaking about Jurgen Klopp as well, and potentially Germany looking at his services, whether that be now or of course, when his contract runs out for Liverpool. We're also going to be discussing Gabri Veiga as well, in a little bit, and of course, we're going to be speaking about Khephren Thuram as well, which he's currently on the bench for the France under 21 squad at the moment as well. So again, I don't think he's going to be coming on tonight though, but still, we'll if he does come on, we'll let you guys know. Anyway, but let me know how all of you are in the chat as well, because it has been a while since we have streamed. I think it was like 4 days since we've streamed. So again, I apologize for the lack of streams and shows, of course, but nevertheless, hopefully we'll try and get back into a routine. Anyway, hopefully, fingers crossed. But big up Connor as well. Hello, Raj. Hopefully, having a fantastic day, mate. If we have a summer of Thuram, Barella, McAllister, and Inacio, that would be a 10 out of 10 window. Sorry, it could be. But FSG do not have the money for Barella. Yeah, that's the other side of it, of course. I think is it Fabrizio Romano had his say on Barella to Liverpool. I just think he's going to stay. It's either he's going to stay at Inter, or you'll end up going to City if they don't get Declan Rice. That's what I think anyway. And Inacio as well. Inacio has a release clause. He has 35 million euro release clause, I think. Daryl says get in Turan done. Not done yet. Of course, we'll go through all the news that came out today for Turan, but it's by far not done yet. I'd like to say it. I was confident with Alexis McAllister. With Turam, it's a bit different because, of course, you have Nice that want a bidding war, and you got other complications with it as well. Again, we'll speak about it a bit later on, but it's by far not done yet. I'd like to say it's done, of course, but yeah, it's sadly not done. Anyway, but what else do we have? Howdy Connor as well. Hello Warrior. Hopefully having a fantastic day, mate. What else we got? A happy 3 years of being crowned Premier League champions on this day in 2020. Yeah, how time flies. Realistically, when we should have celebrated, but we couldn't. As well. Sorry guys, I'm gonna open up my drink because I forgot to do it before the stream. So apologies for that crack. I should have done it ASMR, to be fair. But yeah, 3 years, Jesus Christ. Evening Connor as well. Hello Panav, hopefully you're well, mate. Hi Connor, as well as Bri. All right, Brian. Alejandro's in as well. Barella doesn't feel to me like it can be done. We are not going to meet the price that has been doing the rounds. Yeah, that's true. Hang on, guys. Excuse me for drinking a Monster on stream. I just really fancied it. But yeah, Barella is it's a difficult one, I think, because again, it's what is it, 90 million or 80 million euros? I think they got spoken about yesterday. again, Liverpool are going to be in that price tag, in that range for somebody like that. Well, makes you think Jude Bellingham, for example, but yeah, we all know that story all over again here. But it's done, Connor. I hope you're right, Daryl. I hope you are right, and I hope whoever said it's done, I hope they're right, because Khephren Thuram, I think, will be, yeah, absolute bargain for Liverpool, especially the price that's getting quoted as well at the moment. I think 40 million euros, which is around 34, 35 million pounds. Again, going to be absolute steal. I hope you're good, mate. I'm doing fantastic. Thank you, Doug. I think we will get Thuram and Kone as well. That's the hope and dream as well, of course. I hope you're good, mate, as well. Jordan's in as well. Hello, Jordan. Hopefully you're well, mate. What else do we have? Brian says never buy Italians. Yeah, that is the tradition. Don't buy Italians. Tonali will be a disaster. I don't think he'll be a disaster. I just think people will go, for 70 million euros, which is what, 65, 64 million pound. Is he worth it? Again, I thought he was very much older. I think he's only 22, I think, as well. So again, you're getting decent value there in terms of age and profile in that regard. But yeah, I think you always got to be cautious of you've got to be cautious when it comes to Italian players in the Premier League. But again, I at the moment I'd still say it's a good signing for Newcastle. But Jeremy Pennant said it on TalkSport. Jesus Christ, I wouldn't listen to him, lads. What else was he saying? He was literally crying when he found out he was going. Talk about red flags. Yeah, no, he was. Again, it's a whole problem with the. I think this is again. I don't know anything, obviously, with AC Milan, but that could be a main reason for why Maldini left the board at AC Milan. Maybe, of course, because he has his his players, if you get what I mean, in terms of again Tonali. I think Donnarumma might have been before Maldini as well. And so forth. Again, Tonali, I think, was there in terms of the key players they'd want to keep forever. Like, I think Tonali, I think if you were to say to him, okay, you get to stay at AC Milan, I think he'd snap at the chance. But again, in terms of AC Milan, it's a huge fee for them. You look at their squads. Probably the only other sizable fee they could do is Tonali, maybe. Unless I'm not thinking of anyone off the top of my head. Theo Hernandez as well is another one that they could get big money for. But yeah, no, I think it makes sense. I think if they are going to rebuild the team in that regard. But again, I think do I think Tonali is worth 70 million euros? No, I do not. Is it a good player to get in the Premier League? Yeah, sure it is. Because again, I think for Newcastle, then it allows Bruno Guimaraes to go a bit more forward, or even maybe be a bit higher in a double pivot. Maybe with Joe Linton playing more as a 10, could be. But again, I don't care about Newcastle. I care about Liverpool Football Club as well. But no, again, I think it does have that side of things as well, doesn't it? But we only made 7.5 million profit last year, not turnover. We are 74 million in debt. The only way to spend hundreds of millions is in the way of loans. Man United have 535 million debt. Leicester are 3-400 million in debt as well. Yeah, no, look, we have our limits, and that's the thing. I don't personally. I want Liverpool to spend money, but I want Liverpool to spend money on the right areas. I don't want us to just go and splash out 400 or 500 million, and Jurgen going, what the hell is this? In that regard, I want us to get the correct profiles. And it's like I said, I don't care how much they cost. Like, our best midfield was when we won the league, and that was Gini Wijnaldum, Fabinho, Jordan Henderson. If we can get player profiles of them three players, for example, and let's say one costs 50 million, the other one costs 20, the other one costs 5 million, I would not give a crap. Personally, I would not give a crap. As long as the player profiles are there, as long as the data is there, and the transfer committee are happy with it, I don't care. in that regard. But again, you get people going, "Oh, we should be spending 300-400 million. If we don't, you don't show an ambition. This, that, and the other." Shut up! Like genuinely, shut up. As long as we get, again, we're not asking for billions and billions of pounds, even though we would like it. Let's be honest. But as long as the player profiles are there, as long as we get the correct players in the door. You look at last summer, we didn't get things right. Of course, we need to learn off of that as well. And people go, oh, and me included in this as well. You know, I'm going to put myself in the bracket of, oh, Liverpool should do the business now. Liverpool should do this, should do that. Yeah, they should. But then again, you look at other teams; they haven't even started in their business. Again, you're hearing, like, for example, like, you know, Arsenal and stuff like, oh, Declan Rice, and it's like they haven't signed anyone yet. You know, we've signed Alexis McAllister, and got it done. You know, you look at it at the moment, Declan Rice and could even go to Manchester City, and then Arsenal probably then are going to be fighting for Caicedo, which then if Caicedo goes to Arsenal, leaves Chelsea in a big massive hole for a centre midfielder. So, you know, it's the domino effect. But then again, I also think that, you know, people are just impatient as well, if I'm being perfectly honest. But why did they rest Kone and Thuram tonight? I don't know. Ricky, I was talking to Ricky just before the stream, and he was saying that Thuram might be injured. So if Liverpool midfielder, wait, what? But no, I just think that it might have just been rest. I'll have a quick look now, chat. Did they feature at all? It's currently the 89th minute right now. Was any of them featured? Coney come on the 78th minute, so Thuram hasn't played at all tonight, so could be interesting. Could be having his Liverpool medical. Ooh. That would be fun, wouldn't it? That happened. If Leicester didn't come straight back up, they're in serious trouble as well. Yeah, I think they. To be fair, I don't think they will come back up. If I'm being perfectly honest, I don't get these Chinese owners that Italian teams have. Why sell the Italian core of your squad? Same goes for Barella and Inter. If they sell money, you know, finance wise, again, we talk about, you know, owners pumping money into the club. I think Inter Milan are a team that, like, I think their owners have pumped the most amount of money into the club. I think anyway. I'm not too sure on that, but even still, you look at it like that, like it is just gaining money back. Like you've heard for, you know, probably the last 3 summers of Inter Milan struggling for money. Of course, Lukaku coming in, or Lukaku being sold, Hakimi being sold, Barella now looks like, you know, could be sold. Onana as well, I think, is another one that I think they're hoping for like 50-60 million for him as well. So again, there's money there for them to use it, but again, it's like the quality levels then go down significantly, unless of course you buy with funds. But of course, I don't think Inter Milan do that, or AC Milan either. But benefits his other clubs too. His boyhood club basically sell on clause as well. Might be. Again, I'm not too sure. Everton are £388 million in debt. Yeah, no, they are absolutely bad enough. And FFP as well, they are hugely in trouble with. Connor, what do you make of Osman rumours? Apparently, we are meeting his delegate this week. Nonsense. So I'm being perfectly honest, Justin. Don't get it. First of all, Liverpool not going to spend 120, 130 million euros on Victor Osimhen, even though, you know, really, really good signing, but we're not going to do it, are we? And yeah, I just think it's nonsense, being perfectly honest. Bruno Guimaraes was a player we really should have stopped Newcastle getting. Yeah, no, he was on the list, wasn't he? He was on the midfield target list before he joined from Lyon. So yeah, should have been one that we should have gone for, but unfortunately we didn't. Yes, kind of, but we need to spend within our means. That's who we are, unless you go into loads of debt. Even City are around £400 million in debt, though loans for transfers. Yeah, no, absolutely, 100% agree. Look, we Garo. It's the fact now. You look at the squads. I don't think, apart from maybe, we're going to talk about it tomorrow, more on you know, the video tomorrow, but I think that the only saleable things we've got at the minute is centre off, probably, with Matip or Gomez. But again, we'll talk more about that tomorrow anyway. Osman to Liverpool was the most random of rumours. It's really, really weird to be fair, anyway. But we're going to talk about transfers anyway, guys. We're going to talk anyway about Fabio Carvalho now, of course. And as you guys have known, over the last couple of weeks, there's been rumours concerning Fabio Carvalho and potential exit from the club, permanent deal or a loan deal. And according to Fabrizio Romano, I'll quickly get Fabrizio's tweet up. Of course, there we go. It says Fabio Carvalho will play for RB Leipzig on loan next season. The agreement will be completed next week. Medical will also take place if all goes to plan. Liverpool never wanted to accept any permanent bid or bid proposal for Carvalho as well. So let me know your guys' thoughts on Fabio Carvalho. Again, going on loan to RB Leipzig. I thought personally he might have gone to Borussia Dortmund, considering the fact that Dortmund were very interested in signing him back when Liverpool wanted him, obviously 18 months ago. So again, interesting that RB Leipzig have pushed this much for him as well. But again, a loan move to the Bundesliga, guys. Let me know your guys' thoughts and whether or not it'll be a good move for Fabio Carvalho as well. But excuse me, I think for me personally, I don't really. I'll try to get that off then. There we go. It's been so long since I've streamed, guys. I can't remember how to get things off. But I think with Carvalho, it is a bit. It's not random, of course. I don't think, but it's a good move. I think obviously keeping that good relationship with RB Leipzig as well. And I think a lot of people, I think yesterday when the news broke out on Twitter was, will he get a game at Leipzig? And I think he probably will, because I think it's the Hungarian centre mid, Sabazai, I think his name is. He'll most likely be going. I know Liverpool, some people want Liverpool to go after him. But I think Newcastle, if they don't get Maddison, might go after him, or he might be the number one target, and then Maddison might be next, potentially. But in terms of Fabio Carvalho, again, I think it's a very much an interesting one because with the style that Liverpool play, of course Liverpool don't play with a number 10. Of course, we have kind of with this new style gone more for two number 10s in that regard, which I'm surprised Fabio Carvalho didn't get an opportunity to play in those areas. But I think again, just getting him out on loan to a Champions League club, because RB Leipzig, of course, will be in the Champions League next season, of course. And I think at the moment it makes sense, doesn't it, to realistically get him out on loan, see what he can do for a season at a top club in the Bundesliga as well, and just see where he can go from there. I think that's most likely the best thing that could have happened to him as well. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts anyway on Fabio Carvalho going to RB Leipzig as well. But evening, everyone as well. Hello, Hannah. Hopefully you're well. Thuram looks really, really good. Is he on the field now? Again, I don't think he is tonight. He might have sneaked on for the last 5-10 minutes. Did he come on? No, he didn't. So he hasn't played tonight, but yeah, he does look good. I'm not gonna lie. Good move for Carvalho, says Bry. He'll get more game time at Red Bull as well. Yeah, absolutely. Telio Bean, get rid of him. Carvalho was never good enough for never good enough corner as well. I think it's a bit harsh. I think Carvalho, he's just coming to a team that doesn't play to his best suits. Again, like I think that Liverpool played 4-2-3-1, or if we played more of a 10, I think Carvalho would be perfect for Liverpool. It's just, again, we don't play with a 10. Carvalho was never a club signing. He was bought to sell for profit, I think, which we need to do more of. Buy for 5 mil, sell on a year or two later for 20 or 30 million pounds as well. It was sounding proper FSG with kind of as well. But I absolutely get your point as well. Gary's going agreed. Panov as well. Good move for all parties. Well, yeah, there's no buy-in clause with that as well. I will say that. I think Fabrizio Romano said on his podcast there was no there's no buy-in. There's no sell-on clause. Sell-on clause. What am I going on about? There's no buy option then for Fabio Carvalho. There we go. Got it out of my brain eventually. So that's kind of good in some sense, because again, if he has a really, really good season in the Bundesliga, again, you could just go to a club. Oh, look what he's done. Give us 40, 50 million for him. Could be potentially, but that's the hopeful dream anyway. Curtis Jones, like Trent, showing good rhythm going into next season. Says Zane, yeah, Curtis Jones had a really good game earlier on, didn't he? For the under 21s for England. So yeah, it looks like he's completely changed his outcome for Liverpool. I think because I think what was it back maybe the start of the season. I think a lot of people, even during the season, I think a lot of people was like, oh, maybe it might be time for Curtis Jones to move on. But he's definitely put his name in the hat for starting next season, 100%. Gary Albin, the score mate as well. Hello, Luke, as well. Hopefully, doing well. If he rips up the Bundesliga, we could bank 40. Yeah, could potentially. Again, just depending on how well he does. Because if Ceballos, if that's how you do pronounce his name, again, I apologize if that is how you butchered it. Anyway, but if he does leave, I think Carvalho probably does walk into that team potentially. But again, like it's all hope and dreams, isn't it? But I did think that Dortmund might have gone for him anyway. But I heard a rumor you was with Youssef in Algeria sorting out his medical this afternoon, lads. He said you wanted 50% of the fee and he was happy with his PlayStation. Yeah, we negotiated, didn't we? If Youssef is in the chat anyway. Yeah, no, we did negotiate it. He did fail his medical, by the way, Luke, but it didn't pass it. We had to bribe the doctor just to say pass. Anyway, but no, of course I'm joking. Anyway, but good seeing you as well. But Liverpool will get 20 million in a year, potentially. I think you could even ask 30 or 30, 35 maybe for Fabio Carvalho in the future as well. On the plus, Darwin will get the number 9 shirt. As things stand, he should be getting it, but again, who knows? Well, again, I think it'd be interesting who's going to get that number 7 shirt. There's been a few names on not Fabio Carvalho, on Luis Diaz getting it as well, so we'll have to just wait and see. Probably failed his medical due to his poor knowledge. That wouldn't even be a question. It'd be like first test, out, get out, as well. But yeah, no. But just thinking, no quizzes, Luke, and we should be fine. Anyway, anyway. But we'll quickly move on, and we'll talk about Gabby Vega. Anyway, and of course, according to Florian Plintenberg, he has come out and said that Liverpool. Let me get go out down. So Liverpool among I can't speak. Liverpool among the clubs interested in Gabby Vega. Talks with Liverpool took place. More good talks with other clubs. Open race. Vega ready to for a big step after the Euro under 21 Euros. Therefore, no final decision yet. Release clause is around 40 million euros. Now, Fabrizio Romano, I think today on his podcast, said that Liverpool are intrigued by the profile of Gabby Vega, but he's not the top midfielder that we're currently after at the moment. So it does feel like Liverpool are moving more towards maybe a Thuram and Kone situation than Thuram and Gabby Vega at this current stage anyway. But I think Fabrizio Romano even said in his podcast as well that it is number 1 Thuram, number 2 Manu Kone at the moment. And then, again, might just be looking to see how they play with each other at these Euros. Because, again, at the moment, I don't think both of them of course, they've played up the ranks with one another, but it hasn't been on like a big stage in that regard. But I think it's very much an interesting situation when it comes to just midfielders in general, because I still don't think anyone knows what's going on apart from McAllister, which is done, thank God. Excuse me, but apart from, we're all saying Thuram is pretty much what Liverpool want, and what potentially, of course we'll talk more about Thuram in a moment, but he's the number 1 target at the moment. And then down from that, of course, we've heard Barella's name, we've heard Thuram, not Thuram again, Kone's name, Vega's name, Gravenberch's name. Again, there's so many question marks on what on earth are Liverpool doing in that regard. And again, we don't really know what the club are doing. I don't even think the club knows what they're doing. But it does feel like, and of course we'll talk about Thuram in a moment, that he is now the favourite for who Liverpool want next. I think even Neil Jones said that again nothing will be imminent this week, but from what he's heard from Liverpool people is again the fact that Liverpool will very much be he's the number one guy that we want right now, and then maybe work on maybe a Kone after how much Thuram's going to cost as well, which could be again like I said 40 million for Thuram is an absolute steal. Liverpool get him for that, especially considering what 2 months ago Nice wanted I think 60 million euros for him, which again ridiculous pricing. But that's the market that we live in at the moment as well. But let me know your guys' thoughts on Gabri Vega as well. Anyway, but Luke says, got to go. Bedtime speak tomorrow as well. Good seeing you, Luke, as well. And guys, go and subscribe over to 1982 Reds TV as well. Hopefully I've got that right. Anyway, but Nunes has work to do to convince me. He says, Brian, I love Darwin. I think Darwin will be fine, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. I think more so next season. Again, can that midfield help that? Because what annoys me mainly, and it's only been Thiago that's been able to do it, is Darwin makes loads of runs. Yeah, again, all the time he makes really, really good runs in behind, and Fabinho doesn't see it, Henderson doesn't see it, Thiago doesn't see it most of the time, but he manages to pick one or two out. I'm hoping if we do sign Thuram, or we've got McAllister. I forgot McAllister's name then. Hopefully they'll be able to find find those balls in behind and be able to get more goals out of Darwin Núñez. That's the hopeful dream anyway. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see, won't we? Liverpool must get Kone and Thuram over the line, hopefully. Do you know what Vega's weaknesses are? He's not defensive minded. I think when you compare him and Jude Bellingham's stats, because he does have a very similar profile to Jude Bellingham, it does look when you compare the two, Vega's one's a lot more attacking. Like he's more of a number 10 than an 8. He's not a number 6, even though he has played there before. He's definitely not a number 6. Where like for Jude Bellingham, for example, where he could play as a 10, as an 8, and as a number 6. Vega, I don't think can do that. He can just about do the number 8 role, but he's more so as a 10, if that makes sense to you guys. Anyway, but because the tarts as well, I don't know why that's in the chat. Spurs are in for Van der Ven. I prefer Nasio from Sporting. Yeah, that is true. I don't think though it's got anything at the moment. It does look like Liverpool are favourites because again he's a Liverpool fan. But again we'll have to see, won't we? Anyone that's interested to know about Kone and Thuram, France won 1-0. Kone played 30 minutes and Thuram did in the future. Thank you very much, mate, as well. Again, I think that could Thuram be having his Liverpool medical later on? Who knows? No, I'm kidding, of course. But yeah, I think Liverpool should go and sign the two of them. If I'm being perfectly honest, but you never know with Liverpool. It could be all hush hush tactics while everyone's going on about Thuram. We could be working on Caicedo. Just saying, yeah, we could do. That'll be the hopeful dream, wouldn't it? But no, I just don't think Caicedo is going to happen. Like for example, 80 million for Moises Caicedo, which is good player in that. Was guys said that Kone and Thuram for 80 million. I'd rather Kone and Thuram. I'm not going to lie. And I think Liverpool, judging by everyone we've been linked to as well, it does feel like Liverpool are moving for a more mobile 6, if that makes sense. Because again, we've had Florentino Luis as well. He's got linked. I think. All right, right. So sorry, Brian. I was like that. I was like, why is Custard Tarts in the chat? I thought I missed something further up, so apologies for that. Anyway, but no, like in terms of Liverpool 6s that I've got linked, Ugarte, very mobile. Florentino Luis as well. He's another one that's been very high up on the list in that regard. He's very mobile. I think that that Boca Juniors DM as well. Looks like he's a very mobile DM as well. So it doesn't look like we're going for, or the style of potentially like a Fabinho in that regards, in terms of being a sole number six. Because again, I think Thuram's definitely not a number six. He's a 8 or a 10. Manu Kone, I think he's more of an 8 than he is a 6. So could we be moving that more that way again with a double pivot with maybe Kone and Trent in that regard? But I don't know. It'd be interesting. I just hope that we knew everything now. Of course, it's the not knowing sense of things. Because I think every single summer we've known pretty much who we were going to sign, and I think this summer it's been very much hush hush on everything. Apart from, of course, Alexis McAllister, which of course we've known since probably March time that he was going to be a Liverpool player, or knowing the Liverpool wanted him. But again, the rest of them is like, who knows in that regard anyway. What's the Thuram latest? We'll get on to that in a brief moment. Eventually anyway, but I don't doubt his ability, but I can't shake the feeling that he's not a club player. Was that with Darwin? I think at the moment we're not playing with an out-and-out striker again. We're playing with Gakpo, which he's better at the false nine. But I think if Liverpool, Liverpool could play with Gakpo and Nunes potentially, but again, who knows? I really want to be wrong. To be by the way, no, I know. I just think that right. To be fair, right now, if you were to say who starts up front for Liverpool at the start of the season, I'd say Cody Gakpo, 100%. But who would I want to start up front is Darwin Nunes. But I do think that it would be Cody Gakpo anyway. But because the Tarts are Vega's only weakness corner as well, it could be. Absolutely could be. Barella and Inacio are the number one options. With Thuram for me, the backup would be Kone and Van der Ven as well. I'd agree with Inacio. I think Inacio would be a really good signing for Liverpool. And yeah, it would be interesting, wouldn't it? To be fair, but again, we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, but we're going to quickly move on. Anyway, we're going to quickly talk about Jurgen Klopp. Now, there's been a few conversations on social media concerning Jurgen Klopp and the German job. Now, we know that Hansi Flick has been struggling a little bit with the German job. I think they recently lost, I think, both internationals in the German international break. I think, to be fair, I think they actually played. Was it Thailand? I think yesterday or the day before. I'm not entirely sure. But the Athletic did actually bring out a piece saying, "Could Klopp take over before the next Euros?" Now, again, I think James Pearce answered this in terms of. Again, he's 100% committed towards Liverpool, but it does offer up the question of what could be next for Jurgen after Liverpool. Of course, don't want Jurgen to leave Liverpool whatsoever, but I think with Ancelotti talking about international management, I think Guardiola even spoke about it. I think after the Champions League final as well, he was speaking about it, how he wants to work for Spain and Brazil afterwards, and that could Jurgen go for the German job? And I think realistically, judging from the German journalists, especially, they very much think that Jurgen would do wonders as the German manager, which of course he would. I think he'd 100% be an instant success in terms of that side of management. But again, I can't see him leaving Liverpool. Could he potentially sign a new deal for Liverpool? Who knows? Maybe another year or two. I don't think so. I think when his time is up, I think that's it for Jurgen at Liverpool, unfortunately. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope Jurgen signs another 5-year contract as well. But it's that sense of, again, Jurgen has spoken about he's not going to be managing, until he's in his 60s or something like that. He's spoken about, I think, quite honestly, that will retire quite early. For his age gap, wouldn't be like a Ferguson or a Wenger in that regards. But again, we'll just have to wait and see. Again, everyone thinking that Klopp and Pep and that battle will just only take place in Liverpool and City. Again, it'll end up being at Germany and Brazil potentially in a World Cup final. Who knows? But again, I want to know your guys' thoughts as well. Could Klopp take over, the German job after Liverpool, of course, or even beforehand as well? I want to know your guys' thoughts because again, the Athletic was very much like, no, it won't happen now, but it could very well happen in the future, and I think it probably will happen in the future. Of course, that's if Jurgen doesn't sign uh, another deal for Liverpool anyway. But is Kone only a backup option? I wouldn't say he's a backup option. I think was it Fabrizio Romano or Florian Plintenberg said that Kone was a backup option to Thuram, but if you watch them, they're completely different players. So no, I don't think they're backup options. I think they're separate signings. We know Liverpool want three midfielders next season also. Hopefully that's the case anyway. But Conor Gakpo is Bobby's light. He does exactly the same thing. Yeah, probably more of a goal threat at the moment as well, isn't he? I'd say probably Gakpo is. Like again, I think what Cody Gakpo did in his first 4 or 5 months for Liverpool at the start of his Liverpool career, again, I thought was brilliant. Considering the fact that he came into a team that had no identity at the time, and again, since then he's getting better and better each game in that false nine. And yeah, I think Cody Gakpo next season could be brilliant for the preseason under Jurgen as well. So hopefully, fingers crossed anyway. But Kloppo won't leave until his contract is up, and even then he might extend if we do well. That's what I hope he does. I think that's the hope as well, that he will sign another maybe 2 years on top of that, maybe three. But again, we'll just have to wait and see. And hopefully he does sign another contract. But yeah, it's going to be a sad day when Jurgen does leave Liverpool, unfortunately. The next World Cup, I think Klopp will be the German manager as well. How many years is it to the next World Cup? 22, 26, is it? 2026, next World Cup? Could be wrong with that. Again, I'm terrible. Again, I couldn't even remember what year we were in now. But yeah, 2026, I think, is the next World Cup. Is it in USA, Mexico, and Canada as well? So again, I don't know if it's true. Front three for the Prem: Gakpo, Nunes, Salah. Front three for the Europa League: Diaz, Jota, Elliott, Connor. I don't think Darwin's a left winger. Again, if I want Darwin, I don't want him as a striker. I don't want him on the left next season. I think the left was just to, again, well, we didn't have Luis Diaz and we didn't have Jota. He's there. For me, I want him in the centre. I don't want Darwin Núñez on the left. He can play there, yeah, don't get me wrong. But I want him, as our striker. I don't want him being a left winger. For me, that's not what he was brought in to be. And again, he's just not that. He can play on the left, absolutely, he can. But I think when you get Darwin as his best, he's in the centre. And, again, I think what Liverpool have kind of a little bit done as well is that Darwin Núñez is like Haaland. You get him in behind, the defenders, and then, again, the goals will come. And that's what I think Liverpool need to do better of next season. Again, like I said, with the runs, I think Liverpool need to utilise that a bit more and get him in behind and get him going as well. But yeah, I think for me, I prefer Darwin on centre anyway. But North is, Mrs. says, Jurgen, we're going nowhere, mate. Even Rafa's Mrs. didn't want him to go lol as well. Yeah, that's true. That's very, very true. 100% he goes back to Germany, but don't rule out Bayern. I don't think he goes back to Bayern. I don't think he'll ever go to Bayern. Núñez in the centre, but he could go on the left as well. No, I get that, but again, I think they're both better than the centre, but you can't have them both centre as well. But no, I think that Jurgen to Bayern, could it ever happen? I don't think so. Bayern have tried 4 or 5 times to get Jurgen. They tried, didn't they? When they sacked Nagelsmann, they tried, I think, ages to. I think they contacted Klopp twice, and twice he told them go away, like practically. So again, that's a good thing in that regard. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see when we chat when it comes to Jurgen and the German job anyway. But we're going to move on anyway, and we're going to talk about Khephren Thuram now. Now, I know you guys have been waiting for this anyway, but Now, this morning, according to David Lynch from the Footy Insider, anyway, of course, he has come out and said that Liverpool expected. Let me quickly get this out for you guys. So he's come out and said that Liverpool are expected to agree two-round deal after new talks. Now, Liverpool are closing in on talks with Nice star Khephren Thuram as talks continue. Sources have told the Football Insider the star wants to move, and the Reds are pushing hard to secure a full agreement. And sources have said that Liverpool now expect to complete a deal for Khephren Thuram. Now, of course, like I said, in in the French team tonight. Of course, didn't feature at all. There was that rumor, like I said earlier on, that he is currently injured or does have something wrong with him. But fingers crossed he doesn't. In that regard as well, there was also, I quickly bring up a few from the last stream as well. Of course, in terms of Liverpool, will wait until after the European Championship to get the deal done. But again, this could not change depending on if a team is looking at interest in terms of Khephren Thuram and so on as well. But the fact that David Lynch has come out and said this as well, because there was a bit of controversy this morning about it, because I think the Anfield Talk tweeted about it. Everyone started sharing and retweeting it, and then it got deleted from Anfield Talk, so everyone was confused, like what's going on in that. But supposedly it is from David Lynch, so that's a good sign, I think, in that regard anyway. But again, look, it's the same story though with Khephren Thuram. It is now just the sense of, if everything is agreed, if he wants Liverpool, if this is the thing, go and get it done in that regard. But it does feel like the Liverpool don't want to interfere with him in the European Championship. But then by doing that, you leave two things, well, probably three things. A, you leave Nice to potentially get a bidding war in for him. Again, in terms of potential injuries as well, with Liverpool, and just simply in terms of, again, Nice will try everything to get the best possible deal out of the situation. Again, there was rumours of 60 million euros. I think there was rumours last week saying that 40 million euros was the deal at the moment, which is around 34 million pounds, which again could be feasible for Liverpool. But I don't know. I think lately, I think Liverpool, if Liverpool can get the deal done, I think as soon as the tournament is done, I think he'll get done, and then we'll be sent out on holiday. But of course, we all want it to get done ASAP, go on his holiday, come back, and then hopefully start the season off right as a Liverpool player, of course. But we'll just have to wait and see in that regard anyway. But in terms of Khephren Thuram, I think, look, it is a bit difficult in terms of the European Championship being in the way. If they wasn't, I think it would be pretty much done by now. And like I said, I think on the last video, if you ask my opinion, I do think Khephren Thuram will be a Liverpool player. Again, that's just my opinion. But you do have to then worry in terms of other teams, in terms of, I think Arsenal were linked with him. I think Newcastle as well were very much interested in him. So again, hopefully Liverpool can fend off that interest anyway for him, to be fair. But again, in terms of Khephren Thuram, according to David Lynch, anyway, of the Footy Insider, saying again, Liverpool expected to agree Thuram deal after new talks. Of course, they say that again, Liverpool are closing in on signing Nice star Khephren Thuram as talks continue, according to Football Insider as well. So hopefully that will be all done, hopefully in the next week. Fingers crossed anyway. But again, it's all a waiting game. We all have to bloody wait, unfortunately, at the moment, which is very much annoying as well. But what else do we have? Training camp in Germany, July 8th, less than 2 weeks. Klopp said he wanted his players in by then. He did say that. It does look like that's not going to happen now. So, frustration. But Kev would be a great under Klopp as well. I think he would be. I think, again, go and look at extended highlights of him. It does feel like a very good player, and judging from a lot of French analysis, what I've seen anyway, in terms of them speaking about him, he could very well be the next superstar, potentially, depending on if his trajectory goes in the right direction. And that's what I think we all hope for, is for Liverpool, instead of looking at other teams and going, oh, what a superstar he is, Liverpool sign someone now, and then in the next 2 or 3 years, he be, everyone's talking about him instead as well. So hopefully that is the case with Khephren Thuram. I think probably with Kone as well, that could also be the case. I think Kone does feel like a very much like a Wijnaldum style player. If we wanted to turn him into that, but again, we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, and yeah, what I'm saying now, it's the 25th of June. What is it? Probably 2 weeks. And as you know, as said, is it Cedric? I think is it again. I apologize for butchering people's names. I said, but again, Germany camp on July 8th. So again, it's very much the case of there will be you'll have things coming up thick and fast now. I think again, as soon as Liverpool are given a permission to go and get the deal done, or whatever they're waiting for at the moment, look, I think 100% Liverpool will be going for it. But I do think at the moment, I think Neil Jones joked about it, saying that Liverpool are currently on holiday at the moment. So read to that wherever you will, in that regard anyway. But I'm going to try and watch a full match replay of Thuram playing 90 minutes. So interested because I've only seen highlights as well. Yeah, go just type into YouTube extended highlights Khephren Thuram, and it'll just show you extended bits. I think he's very much what Liverpool need. And look, I think he'll be absolutely wonderful for Liverpool in the future anyway. But until next time, guys, I'm going to leave it there for tonight anyway, guys. Big thank you to all of you guys, of course, for tuning in. I will quickly read out Capo 18 Studios comments while saying Thuram is tall. Yeah, no, he is a tall guy. He's 6'4", so a lot of height there for Jurgen Klopp to work with anyway. But of course, we have mentioned the news of Fabio Carvalho joining RB Leipzig on loan. We've spoken about Jurgen Klopp potentially going to Germany as well for the German job, and of course, we've spoken about Gabriel Vega and that rumours to Liverpool, and of course, we've spoken about Khephren Thuram to Liverpool. Anyway, it looks like that deal could be getting done. Hopefully, fingers crossed anyway. But of course, tomorrow we'll be live, like I said, with a bit of a different video. We're going to be speaking about the whole squad, and taking a look at what who we could potentially sell, where could potentially other players come in or go in that aspect of things. Try and see if I can get a couple of people on as well. So again, if anyone's interested, let me know your thoughts anyway. But until next time, guys, that's going to be it from us. I've been Connor from the Cop Council. I'll see you all tomorrow. Ta-ra.